Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. I'm, of course, Gregor Guy.
My name is Casey.
And we will be presenting episode 25, quarter of a century mark of the Bangcast.
25. Who's the number 25? I don't know any number 25s in sports.
Well, yeah. I mean, we had a couple of basketball references over the past 2 weeks.
Right.
And
Jordan and Kobe, 23 and 24, but I can't think of a 25. I don't know any 25s.
let us know down in the comments below of a famous sports player who wore 25.
Or car, driver. Any drivers?
Driver. Yes, well, either way. Any sports figure who, sported the number 25.
Right. All right.
We'll say. So, this particular week, we are going to, basically talk a bit of current events in, all shapes, sizes, matters, forms, so on and so forth. So I will go ahead and hand it over to you, Casey. What do you want to open with here?
So this week, I mean, it's been the last 2 weeks or longer, has been the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial.
I would venture to say it's been going on a month. It seems like a month anyway. I don't know if my time frame is just discombobulated.
I mean, that's just when I basically kind of started getting into it. I mean, I drive a lot at work, and basically I just fish around for different things to listen to and generally educate myself. And I can't say that I'm being educated
by this particular Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing,
right? Because I mean, it's telling me things that generally I already knew, but it's just the outlandishness of certain specific things that are happening in the case. And I do think there is kind of a cultural shift going into the case too, because for the last 3-4 years we've heard this mantra, believe all women type thing.
Kind of no. What was the name of that movement?
The Me Too movement?
Me Too. That was it.
Right, but
I was blanking on it.
That was a mantra within the Me Too movement.
Right.
And let's be honest, there are some really bad guys out there, but there are just as many really bad women out there. I hate the fact that people are being divided by sex or race or all of those things,
or whether you're even on a political kind of thing.
Conservative, Democrat.
It's silly. It's
liberal,
silly. Right. It's silly. People, wake up!
There are good people and there are bad people, and they are in all segments of life,
and they are all. Guess what? At the end of the day, people.
Right.
Treat each other with respect.
People aren't perfect either. I mean, even the greatest people in the world have made mistakes throughout their life.
That's true. I've made mistakes. I'm wrong occasionally, even though it's very rare. But I am wrong occasionally, and I, am big enough to admit it.
Right.
Especially when I am proven wrong.
And that's honestly one of the biggest characteristics of a person. To me, is somebody who, when they find out they're wrong, will admit that they're wrong and not argue to the death that they're right.
And die on that particular hill that they are, spewing their nonsense from, basically.
And sometimes it's a stupid hill. So sometimes this hill is stupid. There's arguments between a man and a woman sometimes about putting a sock in the wrong place, right? And this sock in the wrong place leads to a divorce. Because they just keep adding on, and this lie just continuously goes, and it's just about as stupid. I mean, obviously, more times than not, they're more serious issues. But if one person just admitted they were wrong in that situation, then everything would have been fine.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as I, prove my point, whether, I'm right, okay. Let's take this as an example. If I, give my, I don't necessarily want to use the word argument, but of my facts, to prove my case.
Right.
And, you can't just accept that my side makes more sense than your side, and you automatically just, go on that defensive mode where you just start spewing a bunch of nonsense, basically.
Right.
Because I will listen to every side, and then I will formulate an opinion.
I will say that there is, if you are right, there is a going too far. If somebody admits...
Right. I mean, you don't want to stick the knife in and then twist.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Right. You can say...
Just be happy you're right.
Yeah.
And,
right.
You've proven your point.
Yeah. You can say, okay, you're right. And then after that, don't say something else. Yeah. Don't say, I told you so, or something like that.
Right.
Because now you're jabbing them.
No. That's twisting the knife.
Right.
That's the mortal wound right there.
And then you bring it up 2 hours later. Oh, I was right about that. I'm right about this too.
No, that's re-jabbing them. Jesus.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay. Whoa, no.
Now we're trying to talk about the case.
Right. Well, we'll get into that in a second. But basically, that is a large issue that I have seen with, in particular, the United States of America today, is that people cannot just sit down, have a discussion, and, a civil discussion.
Right.
Share their, differing opinions, and, come to, at the end, at least even try and understand where the other particular party or side comes from with, their thought process and everything. I think that is a fundamental flaw.
There's a word for it, being able to see through another person's eyes. I can't 100% think of the word right now, but I'm kind of blanking on that. But I believe that is one of the largest problems that we face today in the United States of America. It's either you're on the side of my particular thinking, or we're going to try and cancel you. That's
how
there's like a thing going around too that if you admit that you're wrong in public right now, people will attack you for admitting that you're wrong.
Exactly. That should not be a shame thing.
It
should not.
Admitting that you're wrong should not mean that you just dug your own hole and now there's like 1 million people waiting to sit there with shovels full of dirt waiting to throw the pile on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then light you on fire with gasoline.
Yeah. It gets worse. And then they'll bring one of those construction machines that rolls over, rolling over the grave that you've been dug on and set on fire, and now you're getting crushed by a rolling machine, and now they're going to shoot a missile that buries itself in the ground and blows you up, and then a comet comes down from the sky and it hits you, and it's over.
Sounds like a bad day.
Yeah.
Basically.